Hello, Colby. I'd like to purchase the property you have listed on Beach Boulevard. My friend Eric Myers has been calling you about this property, asking questions, up and updating me about it. I've looked at it a couple different times, researched it a bunch of times, been looking at the traffic, how it's coming and going by here. We've been looking at some of the brands that we like to do business with, where they're located and situated compared to this property. How's the traffic working compared to those brands, and how often are they shopping at those brands when they're in other markets? And trying to figure if we could get those brands that we like to work with to fit on this property. And I think we can. So I also like the willingness of the seller to offer some owner financing on this property. So what I'd like to do is offer to purchase this property under a master lease scenario. So I'm sending you a purchase agreement with a master lease phase in there. The master lease phase allows me to, if we elect to go to the master lease phase after I work with the tenants and they say, yes, let's go for it, the deposit to go hard. You keep the deposit, or your client keeps the deposit. They can take it out of title, escrow, put it in their pocket. It's not attributable to the purchase price. The commission, you got to get paid as a broker, right? Commission that your seller agreed to pay to you, I will pay that. I'll pay that up front on the closing timeline that this agreement is set up for, as if the master lease phase didn't happen. So you get your commission when you're offered owner finance. I know a lot of brokers are hesitant to offer owner finance because it's like, when do you get your commission, right? So we pay the commission up front, and that is not attributable to the purchase price. It's above and beyond the purchase price. So it increases the price or the effective settlement amount that the seller gets at the end of the day for the property. And so that's a bonus for you and for him. It also has me paying for the taxes after we elect the master lease phase. I'll pay the taxes on the property. So it takes out the carrying cost of the property. And I'll work with my tenants to build the buildings that they want built here to make the kind of business that they want. I'll keep you updated what they're doing. I'll need the owner to sign permits and things along the way. I'll have to be involved in signing paperwork to do this, but we'll build. And during that build and build out, the improvements are owned by me. I'll be paying for them. I'll be working on them and doing the improvements and leasing it. It'll ask for the rights to sublease it to my tenant. So I want to be able to lease it to the tenant and be able to go sell it on the market later on someday. I'll pay rent along the way when the tenant opens for business, or they start paying rent, or the later of whatever the date is in the contract, timeline of the contract. And so there's a period there of no rent as I'm building and working on the property and getting it up and going until it starts going and paying rent, or a timeline if it takes longer to start paying rent anyway. So you get extra bonuses in multiple different ways, and we help each other make this property happen. I love selling vacant land and doing real estate deals. I've sold thousands of vacant properties across the country, and I know how hard it is to sell vacant, high traffic retail. Without a tenant, it's very hard to sell. You get these offers that are like scratch your head, take forever offers. I'm offering something that takes a little bit of time, but then you start getting something that says we're serious, we're going for it, and we go make it happen together and knock it out of the park and go sell it on the back end in the markets, triple net style, and pay the whole thing off and take it from there. And so if you're interested in that kind of offer, take a look at this offer. Feel free to ask me questions. I'm easy to ask questions to, open book, and we'll go make it happen. Eric Myers will be copied on the communications here. He's been talking to you numerous times, asking the most questions of you along the way, reporting back to me, and that's about the offer. So me, I'm Luke Smith. I love doing data on these properties. I love figuring them out. I've worked on lots of different real estate all across the country, and I love figuring them out. I love figuring them out through data. I like looking at the data, like the traffic that's going by on a property like this, and figuring out where they're shopping, where they're going, where are they sleeping, where are they eating, what are they doing. And I can create personas. I can create images, if you will, of what those people like and where they should be shopping. If those shops were there, they should be going to those shops. What kind of propensity would they be going to those shops? How often should they be going back to those shops? And I can create synthetic models of how much business should be done in those shops based off of that data. And I can present it to the tenants and tell them, like, look at this. This is where you belong. This is where your next shop goes. And they love that. They love that kind of data. They love that kind of presentation. And they like to take on those kinds of properties. So I help bridge the gap between vacant land and tenant that allows these kinds of properties to happen, unlocks the value in these kinds of properties. So feel free to ask questions about that. If you like the data approach of these kinds of properties, I teach a little bit as well. I've got a website. The link is in the description of this video. you can take that link back to that website. It's on the school community. And I do these live presentations and I answer questions and I learn a lot by the questions that people come up with. And I meet different brands and different brokers and different dealers and developers and investors, all kinds of people that work on these kinds of properties in there. And feel free to jump in there. It's free, and share and teach if you will, and learn by teaching if you want, and just be surrounded by a bunch of like-minded people. So that community is there and I'm active in that. Also, you can look at my little website, ruralvacantland.com. There are thousands of properties I've bought and sold and worked on over time on that website. Those are the smaller dollar properties. The bigger dollar properties are in county records. You can look up Luke Smith. You can look me up by my address, a whole bunch of different companies and trusts and things I've used over time. So maybe the address is easier. And I run the larger dollar ones through traditional channels of brokers and Crexy and LoopNet and auctions and all kinds of different things, right? So you can check those out as well, or ask me. If you're liking these kinds of videos and want to learn more, feel free to subscribe, and more of these along the way. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope to hear back from you soon. Bye.